For many a day my thoughts have been haunted by a pervasive and intrusive memory, a scene which occurred only hours before. The streams of opposing orange and blue, the bombarding crashing of pillars, and the soft, melancholic tune underlying the tension. Heaven save me, the tension! That infernal clock never providing a moment's rest, ever present in denying me my ambitions, my self-inflicted Sisyphusian task. No one forced this upon me, yet I feel compelled to assure you, it is the only way. Howdy, folks. I hope you are all of a millennial age bracket with some semblance of disposable income before the year of our Lord 2023. Because otherwise, you may have missed out on what might be the greatest puzzle game experience ever made. It really is a great game, and you can trust me, since I'm the most popular YouTuber ever. Don't let the numbers fool you. I'm the guy Mr. Beast calls every time he needs someone to bury him. Go try making a career of burying content creators alive and tell me you don't become famous overnight. But I digress. Let's talk about Picross. Picross is a series I sadly lack familiarity with. From my observations, its humble beginnings as a game are in a 2D grid which easily could have been a pen and paper game like a crossword or Sudoku. I've only had familiarity with it as a series of Nintendo DS games in a similar vein to Brain Age Academy, a tangent I hope to explore in a future video. A 3D game was also made on the DS, but the only game I have played and have any experience with is Round 2 on the 3DS. And it is everything it was set up to be. I was introduced to Picross 3D Round 2 by Giant Bomb, a gaming journalism group introduced to me by my good friend Extra Shoddy, which I followed from late 2014 into 2019. In that time, while finding my time for gaming to be extremely limited, I felt I was able to keep up to date with gaming through the Bombcast and plethora of video series produced by them. Although it is no longer the company I once loved, the memories live on in my heart. And on YouTube. Anyways, Dan Reichert and Jeff Gerstmann gushed about their love for the original, and how the sequel was all of that but better.
Also, Picross 3D 2 is probably the best video game ever made.
Man, I don't doubt it. It's like, is that like free to start and then they?
I don't know. I just got the full one right.
Okay.
Like the first Picross 3D and even Picross DS, the 2D one.
Yeah,
they're the perfect DS games, and 3D is so good. And I didn't know how they were going to expand upon it because the first one had so many puzzles already, but they've just changed so much about it, and it's so much harder. It's so much more complex.
Okay, cool.
I didn't even play the first one. Is it literally 3D? Like, are there actually?
Yeah, they're cubes. It's
Yeah,
it's,
okay.
You
rotate them,
actually
but
do
it's a
spin a
3D
cube
object that
Okay.
you're spinning around.
You should fucking play that thing,
I
man.
really liked Picross.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Like I do too. I like 2D Picross,
Yeah,
but 3D just blows it out of the water.
Man,
I've been playing.
And I just had to get my hands on it. 7 years later, when the Eshop was announced to be shutting down. Look, I'm not the best at time management. Just look at my upload schedule. That said, I have now spent a couple years picking at this game, and have to say it delivers on everything I desire from Nintendo casualware. This game hands you a block of cubes with numbers, symbols, and colors, and sees you whittling away to reveal a figure out of the marble.
I gotta be the marble!
This is the core of the series, as it's a simple premise elevated to great heights by the atmosphere, controls, tools, and logic. Now, let's tackle that last statement in a completely different order. The controls. You interact with the blank primarily with the stylus. It rotates the blank when no button is held, and can reduce focus scope along 2 axes with the use of the sliders. You have 5 buttons which can be held. The blue mark, the orange mark, the blue fill, the orange fill, and the hammer. When any button is held, the blank lies still, and whatever block gets touched by the stylus is interacted with. When the scope is reduced with the sliders, only that layer can be interacted with. Moving on to the tools. Those 5 buttons you can press? Well, these are your tools for solving the Picross. The blue and orange fill tools are how you actually generate the figurine in the Picross. These turn blank blocks into part of the final figurine, so long as you are correctly filling in the solution. If you are incorrect in filling a block, you receive a strike. The blue and orange markers are how you make guidelines for potential fills based on the hints the game gives you with the numbers, symbols, and colors on the blocks. Think of this as writing a small number in the corner of a Sudoku, or writing a crossword in pencil before filling it in with pen. Finally, we have the humble hammer. This is the tool used to remove blocks which will not be part of the Picross solution, i.e. the figurine. Moving on to the logic section.
are always blissfully unaware of how dumb they really are.
This is where the puzzle game comes into play. You have numbers on different faces to each block denoting how many occurrences of that color is presented by the aforementioned number in that row. This can also be seen with a block face having 2 numbers, one for each color, showing both colors appear in that row. If a number is enclosed in a circle, that means there are 2 distinct occurrences of that color where the sum of the occurrences equals the enclosed number. If the enclosing shape is a square, the distinct occurrences equals 3. The plan of action should be to use the marking tool to highlight all potential blocks and destroying any blocks that contradict the hints of intersecting rows. Then find cases where you can partially solve a row. An example of a partial solve would be if you have 4 blocks that you can use in your solution, but you're denoted with 3 concurrent blocks. You know that the 2 in the middle have to be part of the solution, and then you just leave the other 2 on the ends blank to be later solved. Follow this strategy enough times, and completed rows will start falling into place and presenting themselves to you. All this information is neatly presented to you by the game's aesthetics. Nintendo really does have a knack for aesthetics, and the casual wear handheld games really are a masterclass, along with the UI designs of the late 2000s. Topics we can save for future videos. Since we're talking about future videos, maybe hit that subscribe button. Leave a like and a comment if you want more videos like this so more people might see this in the algorithm. The vibe of this game is just effortlessly cozy, a distinction I don't make lightly. The art style of the figurines being little wooden carvings appearing in a humble workshop, along with the little jingle that you get when you solve a puzzle, all just makes me want to invade an armchair at my local coffee shop and demand a fuzzy blanket. The easy listening soundtrack doesn't keep this feeling at bay. The simple, almost domino appearance of the blocks with the starkly contrasting orange-blue color scheme, all with a boldly colored backdrop, gives clarity to everything happening, but also is just easy on the eyes. And then there's that timer. I was very selective in referring to this as a cozy game. I'm well aware of this buzzword and how it started with Stardew Valley type games, which on the surface are all charm, but the ever-turning of time and ever-growing list of tasks fills me with such anxiety it causes me to dissociate and just go read a manga instead. You see, I am but a simple, broken man. In Mario 3D World, I can't move on to the next world without getting all the green stars and hitting the top of the flagpole. If the menu screen says I missed something, I am going back in. The same is true for Picross. If someone were to say, commit the unbearable sin of darkening my door and demanding to see my gamer credibility via my 3DS, they could open my Picross, for it was digital only and isn't protected from prying eyes by hiding the child choking hazard in my lucky couch cushion. The unwelcomed guest may then inquire why I ever attempted a puzzle on any difficulty other than hard, and didn't get the highest medal awarded for no demerits and solving within an allotted time. I think I'm learning I just really needed to get that off my chest. Anyways, that's Picross 3D Round 2. It's fantastic, and shows a puzzle game format that really only works in this medium. I miss when Nintendo was a little quirkier than they are today, and this game really highlights that for me. Anyways, it's really too bad you can't snag this anymore. The DS game may very much be excellent, but I can't really vouch for that. Maybe the Nintendo personal computer is a good enough case for playing this game. Thanks for making it this far. It's been a wild few months for me, and I think the dust is finally starting to settle. I can't promise any regularity in my uploads right now, but at least I should be doing better than every 6 months. Let me know down below if you enjoyed this and would like more gaming discussion. Until next time, keep it tuned in.